On this video, we want to go through the benefits and how staff reduction programs are going to impact those particular benefits. Let's start off with the medical, dental, and vision, the primary health benefits. Most all medical plans today have that hour minimum. Could be 30 hours a week, 32 hours a week. Your plan's going to be different than mine. But the reality is there's always these limits there. So again, they're waiving all that. They're not going to have to worry about that anymore. The other thing you want to look at with your medical plan, if you choose to do some of the partial unemployment or a shared work program or the standby, furlough, some of these optional programs that are kind of almost a hybrid, you're going to have to maintain the medical. There's no way around this. Almost every single one of the state plans will require it. So we have to look at that. If right now you're paying the full medical on your current employees, then it's no big deal. You're going to keep paying that medical premium from your company to the medical insurance company as normal. But what happens if your employees are actually paying a portion of it? This is where it can get complex. Right now, if they put them on a standby, you're going to have to invoice that employee for their balance of the medical insurance. You could, though, make the choice and just say, hey, we're just going to pay it, right? So it depends on how much the employee's paying, how much you're willing to cover. Another option you could look at would be to defer their payment. So if it's only going to be for 4 or 6 weeks or something related to that, then what you could basically do at that point is say, hey, we're just going to accumulate how much you would owe for the medical insurance, and we'll collect it when you come back to work. Of course, there's a risk they might not. So understand each of these can be different approaches on your medical. The other aspect to think about here is rehire. So if you do layoff as opposed to doing a modification where you're doing the partial unemployment, you're going to actually lay off and terminate that relationship. All medical plans have a period of time that the employee can come back on to your employment plan once they resume employment. So you want to understand where those times are at and how those are going to impact you. For 401k and retirement plans, you're already dealing with a third-party administrator in order to administrate these plans. I want you to be able to go and talk to them and find out specifics as to what this plan is going to entail. But if you're continuing the employment relationship, meaning you're doing a partial unemployment, the shared work program, anything that's continuing the employment, the employee can continue to contribute to their 401k plan. The same thing is if you're doing matching funds. All of that can continue as long as the relationship has not been severed. If you actually sever the employment relationship, termination, or an actual layoff, then all the contributions would stop at that point. Now, one of the laws that they have changed is in relation to pulling money out of a 401k plan. They have now eliminated that 10% penalty that people would take from taking their money out early. Still got to pay that income tax, but at least they don't have to pay the penalty for that. For paid time off, your vacation and your sick leave. If you're in the following states, California, Colorado, Illinois, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Nebraska, or Rhode Island, you're required to pay out this unused vacation or PTO, paid time off, at the time you're severing the employment relationship. That means at termination and at a layoff. Other states, you're going to follow what's in your policy manual. So if your policy manual says, hey, when you quit or you get laid off, we're going to pay out your vacation, then you have to follow what your policy manual says. But there is no other specific laws outside of those states that deal with the payout of the vacation. With sick leave, you really have to follow that policy manual. What I want you to be cognitive, though, on sick leave, you don't have to pay it out if it's separate. So I want you to separate your vacation time from your sick time. You accumulate it differently and you let them use it differently. That way, at time of a layoff or a termination, it's not held to the same. If you combine them together, you take your sick leave and your vacation time and any personal days, you can just lump it all together. You call it paid time off. You're going to have to pay that out if you're in California, Colorado, Illinois, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Nebraska, and Rhode Island. For garnishment and deductions that are currently being done for these employees, if you sever the relationship, meaning again we do a termination or we do an actual layoff, all that will stop at that point. All payroll deductions, all garnishment will end. Interesting of note, for payroll deductions, in Oregon, literally 99% of all of them are not allowed. You can't even do payroll deductions. So this might not be a problem for you if you're in a state like Oregon. But if you're continuing the employment relationship, so we're doing the furloughs, we're doing the partial unemployment, when we're maintaining the employment relationship, the garnishments will continue. In the garnishment letter, it'll outline the percentages that have to be deducted. You'll still do the same percentage, it's just the gross wages might be different that you're pulling that percentage from. For the deductions, those also will continue. So it's only a matter of if they're going through a period of time where you're not making a paycheck, like standby. If they're on standby for a number of weeks, they might not receive a paycheck. You will not be doing the garnishments and deductions during those time frames. Now, the caveat here is all these states can be different. And again, these laws are dictated by different states. So maybe some state has some law in there that we just haven't come across yet that complies with this. So I need you to help us, to let us know what state you're in and direct us, and we can help you through this process. One last comment on the shared work program. This is actually an employer program. So you as the employer have to enroll your company an initial set of employees in the program. The employee themselves cannot go down to unemployment and say, hey, I want to be part of the shared work program. It doesn't work that way. Now, when you are going to do the layoff, I want you to have a document. So when you're having a conversation with them, you're going to talk about what's going on, you're going to walk the employee through what's happening. Have a document that's going to outline this information as well. I'm going to give you a link at the bottom here for a template that I want you to be able to use. But the idea is that this is going to be an emotional experience for the employee. They're obviously going to be upset, disappointed. They're probably not going to have all those questions on the tip of their tongue that they need to ask you. So have the document laid out. What's the employment process look like? What's going to happen with their medical insurance when they go on COBRA? Their 401k, who do they contact to get to their 401k? All of these are going to be questions that are going to come up the next day and the next week. So might as well have it all in that document ahead of time. Well, thank you for watching the videos, and I hope you took away a lot of good ideas and concepts that you can apply to your decision-making processes. We talked about a lot of different unemployment-based things that you can do, the way that's impacting all their benefits and different ramifications within your company. I understand these are tough decisions to make. I've had to make them myself, so I can appreciate the gravity of the situation that you're dealing with as well. Remember, we're here to help you. Whatever you need, you call us, you email us, we're here to be of assistance to you. Feel free to send us questions. Maybe you have some other ideas that you want me to do for videos. Be happy to do that. Subscribe to our channel and it'll keep up to date on all the new information as we get them done. Best of luck to each of you.